Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been on a blind date? How did that turn out? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Humble Horologist channel. My name is Anthony. It is good to have you with us today. Thank you for watching. And I have a question. Have you ever been on a blind date? I've been on a blind date. I've been on a couple, because I've not always been as handsome and attractive and debonair as I am today. I used to be a really goofy kind of guy. I hear the laughter in the background. Who is that mocking me? No, I had to have people set me up on dates. For my junior senior prom, so to speak, was with a girl that I'd never seen before, and I only heard briefly who she was. And fortunately, that date went okay, but we never went out again. But I was on another date one time with a girl asked to get out of the car before we even got to dinner. So, sometimes they don't turn out very well. But have you ever been on a blind date? Now, what do I mean by a blind date? Someone showed you a picture, maybe at the most, but they might have described someone to you and even maybe described them a lot. They're beautiful, they're handsome, or they have such a great personality. You should get to know them. They're fun. They like to play games, or they like to go hiking, or they love good music, just like you. And then when you actually meet, sometimes it's everything that you were told. Other times, it's like, is this the same person they were talking about? Are we talking? Did somebody get mixed up here? Well, what I am afraid of is that we as YouTubers have misled some people into thinking some watches are actually better than what they are. The reason I say that is because I've had the opportunity over the last few weeks to go to a few different jewelry stores that actually sold watches. Now, you have to understand, in the part of the country where I'm at, we don't have very many places that sell different brands of watches. They're normally the mall brands like Seiko and Casio and just the big brands, Citizen. Very rarely do you even get to see a Hamilton or a Tissot. And there's only one place in driving distance where I live that even sells a Rolex or a Tudor or Breitling. And so to see these watches in person is a rare occasion for me, and I would say for a lot of other people. So when we watch videos that glamorize, that hype up all these different watches, it can be a little bit disappointing when we actually have that first date. Because, I took my daughter when we were in Disney World. My daughter and my son-in-law, I took them into a well-known establishment in Disney Springs. And they had pretty much every brand that you can talk about with an enthusiast and get them excited. I mean, they had Breitling, they had Rolex, they had Tudor, they had Hublot, you name it, they had it. They had, I think they had IWC, they had the list goes on. They had a lot of different watches, and they had Zenith even, and this was the first time Cartier. This was the first time I had actually seen a Cartier tank and a Cartier Santos, especially a Cartier Santos. I've seen a tank before, but a Cartier Santos in person ever with my own eyes. Was it beautiful? Was it cool? Yeah. Were the Zeniths really cool? Yeah, they were. What about the Doxas that were there? They had those too. Were they nice? Yeah, they were nice. But you know what? I could not look at any of those in the same way that I could look at them on video. Because when we hype them up, when we talk about them on video, what do? We use macro shots. We turn them in the right light. We want these watches to look as good as they can look for our own video's sake as much as the watch. And then when we actually see them in person, there's no way that we can duplicate with our own eyes what the camera has shown us on video. And then it's a little bit disappointing when we actually see the real thing. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one who has ever experienced this. But what about you? Have you ever watched a video about a particular watch? There's one watch that I'm reviewing right now that when I do the video, I want to be honest with you and I want to tell you it's not all that I thought it was going to be. Is it a good watch? Yeah. But is it everything that it was cracked up to be on video? No. Quite frankly, it's dull. At least, it's not as exciting as I was led to believe it would be. And so, would I buy one? Not now. Because I was so built up to expect this watch was going to be something that was no way this watch could be. And so, maybe the point of this little sermonette is that we who produce the content should care a little bit less about maybe patting these devices on the back and making them look good for whatever reason we do that, and just be honest about what they really are. They're just watches, as much as we may like them. And let's focus on what they look like a little bit more on the wrist and in normal usage, if we can, so that when we actually see them in person, we're not disappointed with what we find. Is that a bad idea? Do I sound like a total newbie amateur by saying all these things? You can mock me, you can laugh at me if you want to, you can write hateful stuff in the comments, but it's my experience, and you can't deny my experience. Well, thanks again for watching. If you haven't already liked this video, if you like it and found it informative, please click the like button. And if you would, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because we're getting close to 1,000 subscriptions. And when we hit that mark, I'm going to have a party and I'm going to give some cool things away. And I think you're going to like them, because they're going to be totally unique. Ones of a kinds. And until then, be looking forward to a video review of a watch that has received a lot of hype over the last couple of years. And that is well, I won't tell you what it is. Just stay tuned. You'll know it when you see it. But it's got some good and bad. Until then, remember, watches, especially watches, are replaceable. But time is not. Take care of what you have. Spend it wisely. God bless.